Yo, what's up, you guys? It's been a long time coming with this update. If you guys follow my channel, I think like maybe 3 months ago, I picked up side frames and like I had heard about them, but I never played them before. I picked them up, I took them to I think it was Senpai's, and then I went undefeated with them. And then I think another altercation, I took them and I topped with them. I topped with the deck and I didn't know what I was doing with it. So it piqued my interest because I was like, now I need to learn this deck. Because if this deck is that good that you can just top when you don't know what you're doing, oh man, imagine when you really have experience with it. So I kept ciphering, and this deck is mind-boggling because it's weird, it's sophisticated, and some people kind of like know how to counter it if they played cipherings back in the day. But right now, it's like it has an answer to everything, and I like that about the deck, that there's not really anything that it can't stop. So you're not really scared of any matchups. The best way to get this deck is by slow playing, but slow playing is like you can get penalized for that, and you can call slow playing. So like this deck will make you win. Like it's really good. So I'm gonna hop into the build. I'll explain my card choices, and if you guys have questions like, oh, why aren't you playing Yosenjus and stuff like that, like I have my reasons. But let's hop into it. So starting off with the cipher monsters, I played 3 alphas. So every side frame summons their self and a driver from the deck, hand deck, or graveyard in response to any action performed. So it has to actually happen. Like for example, if you negate a monster effect with strike and then try to gamma, it doesn't work like that. Like it has to be happening, and then they react to that. So alpha summons itself if your opponent summons monsters, like normal, special, doesn't matter. And he summons a driver. Then he adds a ciphering card from deck to hand. So he doesn't negate the summon, but he's your engine. He's going to search you whatever you need. And oftentimes, I go for the field spell if I don't already have it. If I have it, I'll just grab a Gamma. And in the Sky Striker matchup, I'm grabbing Deltas all day, every day. Deltas. And then we have 3 Gamma. Gamma is amazing. Even if you don't play side frames, you probably know what this does. It negates monster effects, right? It's pretty potent against almost every deck. It's amazing against Altergeists too. Like when they try to resolve their multi-faker, you just Gamma the multi-faker and you make Omega and like you win. It's really good. So Gamma's amazing against like every deck. And then this is the GOAT right here. This card is so amazing. It negates spells. So even if you're going second, which I actually blind second this deck because I can negate anything. There's nothing that I'm worried about. I have like half my deck's hand traps, or more than half of it is. I can negate rematch. I can negate engage. I can negate module, multi-roll. I can negate in the Trickstar matchup. I can negate light stages, scapegoats, like just important, powerful startup spells. Like you could just negate them with this. He negates spells. He's amazing. When you have the field spell up, this deck is like so aggressive. Like you negate, you make Omega, take a card. They activate, you negate, make Omega, take a card. You take their whole hand away from them, and you negate at the same time. Like you can go through 2 Omegas, and they'll already be down to 1 card in hand. Like it's stupid good. Then we have 3 betas. He negates attack, so he's like a Valkyrius. He negates the attack, destroys the monster, ends the battle phase. So like this, if your opponent's pushing and like it's like time, for example, and they have the last turn, you don't get a turn, this will win you the duel if your light points are higher. And even if your light points aren't, and you're like, I just need a turn, I know I'm going to get it, you're in their battle phase, kill the monster, you go into Zeta or Black Rose, you kill them, you clear the field, and you attack the next turn for whatever damage you want. So you have your 3, 6, 9, 12 side frames. And I'm going to keep these ones here because these are actual hand traps. Like these negate monster effects, spells, and attacks. And then continue with the hand traps. We play, of course, 3 Ash Blossom. I love Ash. Like, even in Pendulum format, people say she's bad because she doesn't stop Electrum. I'm like, bro, she beats every deck. She stops even Rogue. Then you have 3 Ghost Ogres. Ghost Ogre's not that great against Trickstars, but I still feel like it's a great card against everything else, against Spirals. Even against Gokis, it's really good, I think, against... what's the other deck that I'm trying to think of that's amazing? Sky Strikers, you can hit, yeah, they're multi-roll, but there's another deck. It's going to come up. Yeah, Altergeist, it hits Personal Spoofing and it hits Protocol. Personal Spoofing shuffles for cost. Protocol, they try to negate. You ogre the Protocol. Not when they initially activate it. I'm not dumb. I know that when they activate it, you can't ogre it. But once it's already established on the field, like you can ogre their continuous traps. So that's just something that you got to duly note. Then you have 3 Joel Lockbirds, insane. You have 3 Effect Veilers. Effect Veiler, they're like Goki this, chain link that. Isolde Chainlink 1. You're like, Valor of Isolde. It's Chainlink 1. Nah, I still Valor it. Judge! Oh, dang, I didn't know you could do that. So you have what? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21 hand traps. And then you have traps that you actually play from your hand. So you have 27 hand traps. 27 hand traps in the main deck. That's cancer. Then you have 2 drivers and 1 multi-threader. I don't want to break with multiple drivers. I picked up this deck with 2 drivers. Then I was like, I'm not even going to get another driver. I'm just going to leave it at 2. And multi-threader is busted because it is driver. And this, you black rolls, keep your field spell. And once you get multi-threader in grave, you don't even need driver anymore. You just reuse the same multi-threader because it is driver. And remember, they summon from hand, deck, or grave. So either way, you could just recycle 1. But you kind of need to play 3 of the name because, like, I don't know. If for whatever reason 2 of them get banished. But yeah, even if they get banished, I forget, you can actually Omega them back. So it doesn't even matter, actually. For spells, we play 3 circuit. The field spell is amazing. So it has 2 effects. If a Cyframe is battling, you discard a Cyframe monster and give that Cyframe its attack. So driver, Omega's a 53 beater. Just letting you know. And then if you special a Cyframe during your opponent's turn, you can immediately synchro summon with it. Well, like the way it works is you set up the field spell, you pass or whatever, they activate a spell, they activate a monster. Let's say they activate Engage. You're like, reveal Delta, Negate, special summon Delta, and then you summon Omega on resolution of that chain link. Omega, rip a card from their hand. They're like, okay, well, I activate, I just normal summon Candina, I guess. You're like, oh, respond to Candina's effect. Reveal Gamma, Negate, Destroy, summon Omega, rip a card out their hand. They scoop after that. They scoop. And if they don't scoop, you have another Cyframe, make another Omega, take their whole hand. This is how I beat Full Power Spirals before the ban list. I ripped his whole hand from him. Like, I negated 3 and took the other ones. Because I got to go first. He went second. I negated Spiral Resort twice. And then I negated... No, I negated Spiral Resort and I negated Machine Dupe. And then I negated the Tough. Because he was playing 1 of Tough, which I kind of respected his list for that. I negated the Tough that targeted the field spell. I revealed Gamma, negated it. And I took his final card from his hand. This is just broken, bro. Like, this is how you make sure that your Cyframes always hit the grave. You negate, make Omega, rip a card. That's how you win con. Because once you take their whole hand, they have to pass. 3 Omegas come back, you attack for game. That's how you do it. 3 Terraforming. You have to see this field spell. If you don't see this field spell, you're going to be summoning Cyframes. They're going to get banished. You have no field presence. You need to make Omega, Zeta, Black Rose, whatever the situation calls for. Get your field presence, banish it, clear your field, keep negating their stuff. So you got to play this. And then 3 Foolish Burial Goods. Foolish Burial Goods is broken because you dump Overload and then the next turn or their standby, or you can even wait to their main phase, you banish Overload, search the Cyframe that you feel is going to be beneficial. Like, if it's Gokis, search Gammas for days. If it's Trickstar Sky Strikers, you might want to search a Delta. It just depends, because, yeah, they play 7 monsters that they could use, but they play more spells that search the monsters than they do actual monsters. So you search a Delta for spells. So, like, it helps you to not just blindly, you know, have a random Cyframe that you can't use. Like, you wait with this, and then whatever the situation called for is, if they're trying to kill you, you search Beta off of this. In the battle phase, Valk them, you know, it's really good. So Foolish Burial Goods is awesome. It searches any Cyframes, ultimately. If you have Foolish Burial Goods plus a field spell and just, like, a Delta or a Gamma, you're going to be able to Omega twice and rip 2 cards out their hand. So you negate 2, rip 2, that's 4 cards out their hand already. Even if they have the Soul Charge, there's not much for them to Soul Charge for. So those are your 9 spells. That's all you need, just pure engine. Then the traps, we play 3 Evenlies and 3 Impermanents, because this deck wants to go second. And this deck goes second so good that they never let you go second again. They always make you go first. That's why this deck is amazing, because this deck is actually better going first. When you set up with the field spell and you can negate their cards and make Omegas, you're winning right there. So I play the blind second strategy to make sure that I always get to go first no matter what. They'll force me to go first, and we can counter side. We can play the mind games of, oh, I'm a side to go first, and then, or I'm a side to go second and make you go first thinking that you were going to go second type stuff. We can do that. But this deck is so good going first. Like, I prefer to play this deck going first, but I didn't want to have that weakness where, like, I always go first, so then people get to win the dice roll and they choose to go first, and I'm like, dang, I can't really play going second. So, like, that's why I built a going second strategy of my Cyframes, so that people will force me to go first and then I win. If they try to Ghost Ogre the field spell, you just hit them with the Metaverse, or you hit them with the what's his name, Multi-Threader. But Ghost Ogre is declining in popularity. And you play 2 Metaverse, not 3, because you already have 6 field spells. You just need 2 more. Metaverse helps with that one issue. They Twin Twister, Cyclone, Trigate, Nightmare something. Hit the field spell, you chain Metaverse, miss its target, put the field spell back on, and you can just Omega them at that point. And I only have 2 of the trap. I would definitely play 3. Overload's broken. So you banish the Cyframe card, and then you banish a card on the field face down. So your opponent's cards, you banish them face down. Nothing can interact with face down banish except Omega itself. So they lose it for the whole duel. And it's not hard once per turn. It's soft once per turn. So you have multiples. You could banish multiple cards. Then it's in a grave. You banish it from the grave except the turn it's sent to the graveyard. Which, remember, sent is the key word. You search any Cyframe except for this itself, any Cyframe card. So also you can loop this with Omega. Like when you have multiple Omegas established, even in like an aggressive game state, you can basically banish this, search for a Gamma, Omega, return it, because you do this on standby. Banish this, search for Gamma, Omega effect, return it. Because it's returned to the grave and not sent, remember the word specifically. You banish it the same, again, search for a Delta, second Omega, return this, banish it, search for another Delta, third Omega, return it, banish it. Like you can plus off of it, but you just have to establish Omegas first, which is really broken. So that's the main deck. Now for the extra deck, I'm gonna like embarrass myself, but I only have 1 Omega right now. I used to have 3. Bro, I have an issue with selling cards. Like, whenever I need money and I don't have enough, I always sell cards. And I always regret it because then I'm like, dang, like this one guy asked me for a Cosmo deck profile. And I was like, for the 4th time in my career as a YouTuber, I sold Cosmos and I can't do it. I'm sorry. Like, it just happens. But 1 Omega, you need to play 3. Don't listen to anybody tells you. They'll say, you only need 2, you could get away with it. No, 3rd Omega seals the deal, bro. Triple Zeta. Zeta is pretty busted because he adds Cyframe cards from your graveyard to your hand. So you add back Deltas, you add back Gammas, you add back Beta, and you just get consistent rejuvenation of your negates. And he also, it's noted that he banishes himself in a special summon monster in attack position. Lynx can't go to D, so he can, you know, get rid of whatever's trying to kill you. He comes back, it comes back, you beat over it with the field spell. Zeta's pretty awesome. I like him a lot. And then we have just generics that aren't Cyframes. Scarlight, main phase, timing around. Make this, game them. We have Scrap Dragon, we have Stardust, because they're generic 8s. And then we have the generic 7s that I like. You Black Rose more than anything. You're going to Black Rose during your opponent's turn. That's why this is so good in this deck. And you use Cyframe Multi-Threader, discard it, protect the field spell from destruction. And also keep in mind that if you resolve this to banish a card face down and you Black Rose, it'll go to the grave. You're going to get a search during your follow-up, so it's really good. I just like the Black Rose. The extra deck is absolutely incomplete, as you can see. This is just what I have for right now. Other generic level 8 and level 7 synchros are definitely your go-to. That's all this deck really summons is level 8s and level 7s. Link summoning is not an option. You want to summon synchros that can get themselves off the field. Like this, yeah, he doesn't get himself off the field, but that's only for the situation where you're in main phase, it's the last turn, they call time. You have to inflict damage without the battle phase. That's the only altercation. He gets himself off the field. He can get himself off the field just by targeting himself in a card. And the Cyframes already banished themselves. So those are the kind of synchros you want to run. So if you're running generics, just make sure that it has some unique quality about itself if you want to leave it on the field. But that concludes the deck profile, you guys. I love you. Make good choices. Don't hurt your brain cells. Stay tuned for future content. Check out my other Cyframe builds. I did Kowakimaru Cyframes. I did, the only thing I didn't do was the what are they called? The Yosenjus, because somebody already did that. I hate doing what people already did. I have an issue with, like, it feels like net decking, even if the cards are different. If it's the same concept, I feel like I'm stealing somebody's idea. I hate that. I like originality. It's one of my features of my character. But yeah, you guys, I'm going to do another deck profile. Peace out, yo, and stay in your seats.